Just coming up to 11:20, here's a charity very close to the hearts of my next two guests. HD Living was started by Anthony Lomas and his mother, Jill, to help promote awareness for Huntington's disease. I have known Jill for many a year, and you and your little boy are in the studio.
Wow.
Not so little anymore.
Not so little.
I think I met you when you were about 5, actually.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
40.
Stone the gerbils. 40!
Long time ago.
Oh, well, yeah, unfortunately, that's life. Yeah. Anyway, what is HD Living? Who's going to describe that?
So HD Living's the charity that we've recently set up. So my father unfortunately has Huntington's disease and has been gradually getting worse for years through the symptoms. And early last year, Mum had to go into hospital for an operation. So unfortunately couldn't care for Dad. She cares for him full time at the moment. So had probably 3 to 6 weeks where she couldn't care for him and needed support. We looked around for respite centres or care homes to help Mum out, and unfortunately, well, we managed to find one eventually. We were priced out of some because obviously they need to make a profit, so they were quite expensive. A lot of care homes won't accept people with Huntington's. When we finally did find one, let's just say it wasn't the best experience. They certainly weren't equipped to handle the everything to do with Huntington's. Huntington's patients need one-to-one care, and what we found is after probably 2 or 3 days, we had to get Dad out and bring him home, and then between me and my sisters support my mum in looking after Dad. And we identified a gap in the care industry where actually there's nowhere. Luckily, Mum's got me and my sisters to support her, but other families with Huntington's don't. So I decided to set up a charity called HD Living. We're aiming to raise £1 million to build respite centres that specialise in Huntington's disease, where people like my mum or my auntie or anyone who's impacted as a full-time carer for someone with Huntington's can safe in the knowledge that their loved one's being looked after, put them in respite care for whether it be 4 days a week, however long, and we can support them in their time of need, even if it's just to give them a break or a rest, because it's 24/7 looking after someone with Huntington's. It's really difficult.
It is difficult. Your experience, Jill?
Well, I've lived with Huntington's now for 25 years. I haven't got it myself, but my husband's got it. It started off with his dad living with us, not knowing what he had. He lived with it for 10 years before it was identified as Huntington's disease.
2 generations you've gone through.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, his dad is one of 9 children. He was the oldest of 9 children, so you can imagine the shockwaves that went through the family once he was diagnosed with Huntington's. Out of those 9 children, 5 of them have had Huntington's. Adrian, my husband, has 2 brothers, or had 2 brothers, both younger than him. Both of them have had Huntington's and have since passed. It is a horrible disease. It's the brain breaking down. They go through an awful lot. It starts off with them losing their reasoning, then they lose their ability to actually carry out tasks. Adrian at 15 years into Huntington's cannot do anything for himself. He can barely walk. I have to change him, toilet him, wash him, have carers to come in and help him. That said, he is a happy chappy. He is very good. Their mind stays intact. They are still with us. It's not like Alzheimer's where they wander off and they're miles away. He is always with us, which is a blessing and maybe a curse, The respite experience we had was not good. He was in there for supposedly a week. They didn't listen. I did a 4-hour assessment. I did paperwork to show everything. They just haven't got the staff to deal with people with Huntington's. They need one-to-one support. If they don't get it, they get anxious, then they get aggressive. And then they're depressed anyway, so you're always trying to bring them up from being depressed. So you can't manage them once they start getting aggressive because they just get out of hand. We've had so many incidents with his uncles or with his brothers where they've been sectioned, where they've gone down to the police station and reported themselves a paedophile when they're obviously not. They went to get a divorce. One of them, his brothers, went to get a divorce from his wife, and all of these things are playing in his head. It's very hard to explain how it is living with a person with Huntington's disease.
I saw your husband long time ago. We met, I believe it was at an air day, and we're talking about in the 1980s.
Gus Honeybun.
Gus Honeybun days, yeah. Yet he remembered me. As you say, the mind is active. He
does. He remembers you, and he often waves to Dave Brain on the TV as well, because he was on board ship with Dave. He always says that he remembers Dave, and I say, do you remember him? He says sunbathing on the ship.
Oh, did he? All right. Not doing much. Yeah, that sounds like David. Okay, that'll be passed on. Brilliant.
Yeah, his memory is completely intact. In fact, when we're having quizzes or listening to you on the radio and you're asking questions, I'll always ask him and he'll know the answers. He's very good.
Right. How are you going to do this? £1 million? Pfft, easy. How?
So we've got our launch party. It's the first of one of many fundraising events that we're going to do over the coming years. That's on the 14th of March at the Green Taverners at Home Park.
Yeah.
A black tie dinner, £35 a head. If anyone's interested, please get in contact. But we've got a number of other events that we've started planning on. We want to walk from the most southerly point of Cornwall to the most northerly point of Devon. So that's 130 miles. We're going to do that over 5 days at the end of May. And the reason we're doing that one is because the Respite Centre in Plymouth, we want to cover predominantly Devon and Cornwall. So it's a good way of kind of building up interest and getting the name out there and things like that.
Where's the most northerly point of Devon then?
Foreland Point.
Foreland Point. Yes. Of course, I've been there. It's all right, it just suddenly came to me. Yeah, because I went bird watching up there. There's some... The cliffs are a bit...
I'm hoping I won't go down them.
Don't go down the cliffs, mush. I tell you.
The respite unit, the sort of respite unit that they're hoping to set up is similar, if you like, to looking at a 4-bedroom bungalow. We want it to be a home from home where we have 3 resident HD sufferers living there and room for a carer to sleep in and 1 to be awake. If it works this way, they can have 2 carers at all times. If they go out, they can have 1-to-1, and they can even bring their own carers into this kind of home. We think that this is the way forward, not just for Huntington's, but for many things, but particularly for Huntington's and their need for 1-to-1 care.
Is he listening today?
He's in the day centre today. So.
No, so he can't listen. Shame. So we can talk about him now.
Yeah, but I will record it and I'll play it back to him.
He dropped me onto a lightship somewhere off Cornwall. Let's explain, what did he do for his military career? Because he was... Now, hang on.
He was in the Navy for 20 years.
He was in the Navy. I was going to say RNAS, but it's not.
20 years. He started off as a aircraft electrician, and then he went on to be an air crewman, and then he went for his commission and became an observer. So yeah, he was flying in helicopters. He was winching people down, or he was on the winch. And after that, he did the Irish Coast Guard helicopter search and rescue. We worked in Ireland for 5 years doing search and rescue.
He was affectionately known as the dope on the rope, and that is a gross generalisation of what he did, because how many lives do you think he managed to survive, to save over the years?
God. The list is endless, really.
Oh, he and I, this is going back 30 years, we're just walking through Plymouth, and some woman came running out of a shop, ran up to him in tears, hugged him and ran off. I said, do you have that effect on women? And your dad was saying, I have no idea who that was. And I said, I think it's probably someone you saved.
His first rescue was in Scotland. He had to get winched down into the water to get into a rowing boat where there was a granddad and a 4-year-old child in a rowing boat. And he strapped the child to the rowing boat. And because she was so young and he was so old, they couldn't winch them up. So they had to actually get in the boat and row it ashore.
Oh, for heaven's sake. He also told me the bill that he got once. Do you remember that particular one?
He's had lots.
Well, no, this was somebody on a lilo about 5 miles off the coast of Cornwall. So they went down, rescued them, and punctured the lilo and sunk it, because you couldn't bring it back up into the aircraft. It could be sucked into the blades. You couldn't have it on the water because it would still appear on the radar. Not too green, but those days, necessity. So he punctured the lilo and sunk it to get it out of there. And the parents sent him a bill for the lilo.
Yes, right.
So I think they sent him a bill for the rescue. So for
that'd
27
be fair.
quid, here's 1,600. Fantastic.
Yeah.
When is this happening, this particular event?
So the launch party is the 14th of March. It's at the Green Taverners. Again, it's black tie dinner, three-course meal. We've got live entertainment. Obviously, you're going to be there doing our auction for us. We've got some wonderful auction prizes. Man United tickets going up for auction, a signed Man United shirt, signed Somerset Cricket Club shirt.
That's better.
Among many other things.
Boxing glove.
A Joe Calzaghe signed boxing glove. And we've got many raffle prizes. We've got great entertainment on the night, obviously including yourself, Fitz.
It's not entertaining, mate, I tell you. Not unless you get it wrong.
It is for us.
It is for us.
So that's on the 14th of March. If anyone's interested, there's more information on our HD Living Facebook page. Just get in contact if you're interested in tickets.
Lovely. Listen, we'll make a start on this, and good luck for the future. If you can just keep us up to date on what you're doing throughout the period.
Absolutely.
It would be great to catch up. Please give him my very best.
I will do.
He's a lovely little dancer, though, isn't he, still?
He never used to dance, but with the Huntingtons, all he wants to do when music plays is dance. And I love
Fantastic.
dancing, so that suits me.
Long may it be that way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wake up.